Hey friends, I hope you're all doing well today. I wanted to share something that's been on my mind lately, something I wish someone had told me years ago over a quiet cup of tea. You know how every morning many of us reach for that little pill to keep us feeling like we're on top of things? Well, what if I told you that the very thing you're relying on to feel better every morning might be doing more harm than good in the long run? Now, before you get too worried, let's sit together for a moment and have a heart-to-heart about this. I've been around a good while, seen many sunrises, felt the highs and lows of life, and like many of you, I've trusted the system to help me manage my health. But as I've grown older, I've started to question some of the routines we've been taught to follow without much thought. The pills we take day in and day out are meant to help us live better lives, but some of these medications, especially when used long-term, might be silently causing issues we never expected. Now, I'm not saying you should just stop taking your medications without a conversation with your doctor. I remember a time when I blindly followed every instruction without questioning, trusting that if the doctor said so, it must be best. But as I've experienced more of life and listened a bit closer to my own body, I've come to understand that our health is a delicate balance, one that we need to manage with as much care and attention as we give to the things we hold dear. Have you ever wondered why, despite taking all your medications, you sometimes still feel tired or off? I have, and it led me down a path of research and self-reflection. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on inside our bodies. When we're younger, our bodies are resilient and adaptable. Medications can kick in and work wonders because our systems are robust enough to handle a bit of extra load. But as we age, our metabolism changes, our organs slow down a bit, and the way our bodies process these medications alters. It turns out that many common medications, which were once our lifesavers, might be putting a strain on our systems over the years. For example, some pills prescribed for managing blood pressure or cholesterol can, over time, lead to side effects that impact other parts of our bodies, like our kidneys or even our cognitive functions. And while modern medicine is amazing, it's not perfect. I remember reading about studies that showed how long-term use of certain medications could potentially interfere with our natural healing processes. In some cases, the chemicals in these pills might accumulate in our systems, leading to unintended consequences. It wasn't just hearsay either. There's actual science behind these claims. Researchers have found correlations between extended medication use and issues like chronic fatigue, memory lapses, and even an increased risk of certain diseases. Of course, these findings don't mean that every pill is a poison, but they do suggest that it's important to reassess and discuss our medications as we age. Now, I know that the idea of rethinking something that's been a part of our daily routine for so long can be daunting. Many of us grew up in a time when following a doctor's orders was almost sacred. But friends, times have changed. We now live in an era where patients are becoming partners in their own healthcare. We're encouraged to ask questions, to seek second opinions, and to explore natural ways to support our bodies alongside conventional treatments. It's a shift from blind faith to informed care, a shift that I've come to appreciate more with every passing year. You might be thinking, but what about all the medications I take? Aren't they supposed to keep me healthy? And that's a fair question. The truth is, medications can indeed be life-saving and essential. Many of us take pills to manage conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, and without them, our quality of life would suffer significantly. However, the key is balance and awareness. It's about understanding that medications are just one piece of the health puzzle. They work best when they're part of a broader, more holistic approach that includes a healthy diet, regular exercise, and mental well-being. Let's chat about this in a more personal way. I remember a conversation with my dear friend Eleanor, who, like many of us, has been dealing with the ups and downs of aging. Eleanor mentioned that despite her routine of taking her medication every morning, she still felt a bit off. After much discussion and a visit to her doctor, she discovered that some of the pills she had been taking for years might be contributing to her persistent fatigue and mild memory lapses. It wasn't that these medications were inherently bad, they were prescribed with the best intentions. but they were interacting with her aging body in ways that no one had really anticipated. Eleanor didn't stop her medications cold turkey. Instead, she worked with her doctor to adjust dosages and explore alternative treatments that were gentler on her system. And you know what? She ended up feeling more energetic and clear-headed. Isn't it amazing how a little conversation and a few adjustments can make such a difference? I want to share some of the practical tips that I've gathered along my own journey. Tips that might help you or someone you love in rethinking your medication routine. First and foremost, have an honest and open conversation with your doctor. It might seem intimidating at first. After all, doctors are the experts. But remember, you're the one who knows your body best. Ask them about the long-term effects of your medications. Inquire if there might be alternative treatments or natural remedies that could complement or even replace some of what you're taking. For instance, many people have found that changes in diet, such as incorporating more anti-inflammatory foods or omega-3 fatty acids, can help manage conditions like arthritis or heart disease. There's a growing body of research supporting these natural alternatives, and while they might not replace every pill, they can certainly work alongside your current treatments to lighten the load on your body. Another piece of advice I've found incredibly useful is to keep a health diary. Every morning, after you've taken your medications, jot down how you're feeling, not just physically, but emotionally too. Over time, you might notice patterns. Perhaps on days when you're more active or when you've eaten a particular kind of meal, you feel more vibrant. This diary can become a powerful tool when you're discussing your health with your doctor. It provides tangible evidence of how your body is reacting and can help pinpoint if certain medications might be contributing to any less than ideal feelings. I also want to emphasize the importance of regular health checkups. I know many of us sometimes shy away from the doctor's office because it can feel like a chore or a reminder of our age. But these checkups are not just about diagnosing problems. They're about prevention. By staying on top of routine tests and screenings, you can catch potential issues early, before they become serious. And if you ever feel uncertain about a particular symptom or side effect, don't hesitate to seek advice. Sometimes a little extra attention can prevent bigger problems down the road. You might ask, isn't it too late for me to change things now? Believe me, it's never too late. I've seen remarkable transformations in my own life and in the lives of many of my friends who decided to take small steps towards better health. It doesn't always have to be a dramatic overhaul. Even tiny adjustments, a short walk each day, swapping a processed snack for a fresh fruit, or even trying a few minutes of gentle stretching can add up over time. These changes not only reduce our reliance on medications, but also boost our overall well-being, making us feel more in control of our health. It's also important to acknowledge the societal attitudes we face as we age. Many of us have been labeled as old or fragile, and that stereotype can sometimes influence the kind of healthcare we receive. I've often felt that my concerns were brushed off or that I was being given a one-size-fits-all treatment plan simply because of my age. But our experiences, our bodies, and our minds are as unique as we are. We deserve to be heard and to have our health decisions made with care and respect. So when you're at the doctor's office, don't be afraid to speak up. Share your story, express your concerns, and ask for clarity. A good doctor will listen and work with you to tailor a plan that suits your individual needs. I'm not here to scare anyone or to say that every pill is a ticking time bomb. Rather, I want to encourage you to take a moment and reflect on your health with fresh eyes. Think about the little habits that you might have taken for granted for years. Sometimes, it's not just the pills that might be causing issues, but a combination of factors. A diet that isn't quite right for our aging bodies, a lack of physical activity, or even the stress of feeling overlooked in a fast-paced world. By taking a holistic approach to our health, we can make choices that not only preserve our well-being, but also enrich our lives. Let me share one more personal story. Not too long ago, I found myself feeling unusually sluggish. I had been following the same routine for years, trusting that my medications were keeping everything in check. But one day, I decided to speak with my doctor about the possibility of adjusting my regimen. I explained that despite taking my pills as prescribed, I still felt like something was off. Together we went over my medical history, my diet, and even my daily routines. It turned out that a few of the medications I'd been taking for decades were interacting in ways that compounded my fatigue. We made some changes, reducing dosages here, substituting one pill for a natural supplement there, and over the next few weeks, I began to feel a renewed sense of energy. That experience taught me that while our bodies do need a little help sometimes, they also have an incredible capacity to heal and adapt when given the right care. So my dear friends, if you're sitting there wondering about the pills you take each morning, consider this a gentle nudge to re-examine your routine. Don't feel pressured to make any sudden changes, but rather start a conversation with your doctor, with a trusted friend, or even with yourself. Ask questions like, am I really benefiting from this medication as much as I thought? Or, could there be a natural alternative that might work just as well? Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Many of us are seeking a balance between the convenience of modern medicine and the wisdom of a more natural, holistic approach to health. Before I wrap up our little chat, I'd like to encourage you to share your thoughts. Maybe you've already had a similar experience, or perhaps you've been curious about this topic but haven't known where to start. Drop a comment below, share this message with someone you care about, or even subscribe if you'd like to join me on this ongoing exploration of better health. Our community thrives on these shared experiences, and every story helps us learn and grow together. In closing, I want to leave you with a sense of hope and empowerment. We may be getting older, but that doesn't mean we have to surrender control over our health. Every day is a new opportunity to make choices that align with who we truly are and what we need. Embrace small changes, be kind to yourself, and remember that the journey to wellness is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's support each other, ask the tough questions, and keep striving for a life that's as vibrant and fulfilling as we deserve. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my story and for being open to this conversation. It's not always easy to challenge long-held habits, but with a bit of curiosity, a willingness to learn, and the support of friends, we can all take steps toward a healthier future. So here's to us, to our resilience, and to the many more cups of tea we'll share as we continue to navigate this beautiful, sometimes complicated journey of life. Stay well, stay curious, and remember, your health is in your hands, and every little change can make a big difference. Take care, and until next time, keep your chin up and your heart open. I hope this chat felt as warm and genuine as a conversation between old friends. Every day brings a chance to learn and adapt, and I'm here with you every step of the way. Let's keep questioning, keep sharing, and most importantly, keep taking care of ourselves in ways that honor our true needs. Cheers to a healthier, happier tomorrow. And if you found any of this helpful, please consider sharing your thoughts or passing it along to someone who might need a little extra encouragement. We're all in this together, and sometimes the simplest conversations can spark the biggest changes. Stay strong, my friends, and here's to making informed choices for our well-being, one small step at a time.